And I think we are live. Welcome back to the Business and Brews Show. I'm hoping we're live because I am getting consistent errors. But tonight I have the pleasure of speaking with Jesse and Remy of Howling Moon Pet Care. Super excited about this, guys. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back after this.
Welcome to the Business and Brews podcast, where our mission is to highlight local businesses in the Triangle area and shed light on different industries.
All right, perfect. Like I said, Jesse and... Yeah, sorry about that. Just clicking buttons, apparently. So, like I said, Jesse and Remy of Howling Moon Pet Care. Jesse, Remy, I know you're not the only two on this call because we've got other fur babies in the room. But just start off with y'all real quick. You know, how did you guys get started, and what is it you guys do?
Yeah, so we are primarily a positive dog training company, but we also do a tiny bit of grooming. Mainly me that does the grooming, but I would say that as far as grooming goes, creative would be the specialty. We love to dye dogs and make them look unusual. But Remy and I have been friends for a while, and she's a great dog trainer, and so we teamed up and decided to have a whirl at it, and it's been great. We love it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I am really enjoying working with Jesse. I also have got a little bit of experience with grooming, just bathing stuff with her, and that's been really fun. But yeah, it's been fantastic, and it's really awesome to work with someone who is also a friend.
That's awesome. So you guys want to do a real quick intro for the special guests that we have?
Oh, yeah.
So go ahead, Jesse.
I was just going to say, this is Zuri. He's a Chinese crested powder puff, and he'll be 13 next week. So he's been with me for a while, and he was actually the inspiration behind the name of the company. And Remy's got one of her dogs with her.
Max, hey, he is a big sleepy guy. This is Knox. He is a bully, or kind of what I'm assuming is like a pit bull mastiff, Cane Corso specifically. And he has been with us for a couple years, and he's still in training. But he's a very big, sweet guy who loves to sleep on the couch, as you can see.
That's awesome. That guy would have my nugget for a snack. A nugget snack.
So you named him Nugget, like a chicken nugget.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so we picked him up in Tennessee at a hemp farm, a buddy of mine out there, and we get out there. He was 5 weeks old when we got him. He fit in the palm of my hand. So I'm like holding him against my chest. And he goes, "So what are you going to name him?" And I look at her, and she goes, "Nugget." And so Nugget it is.
I love it.
Yeah, definitely. So before we get too much further, I do want to talk a little bit about our sponsor. I can't reach my arm all the way across, but Trek CBD right there in the corner. Trek CBD is owned and run by Nick and Scott. Great guys. Nick and his family, handle the one in Wake Forest and Holly Springs, and then Scott is out in Lincoln, Nebraska. And Trek CBD, one of their primary focuses is education. Trek meaning a journey to wellness. They found that a lot of people are confused or uneducated when it comes to CBD. And so, whether somebody is, focusing, especially me being a veteran with sleep problems, anxiety, or pain management, this is a very, very excellent method to take care of things like that. And so what Nick and Scott really wanted to focus on, because so many businesses, even when they first got started, were focused on going online, getting online, or starting online, they really wanted that retail environment, a place that you can go to. So even though most of their customers do go to the website even before they go to the store. Now, if someone wants that face-to-face interaction to be able to get an education, you go in, it's a very clean place. Nick is usually at the Holly Springs location. I'm not sure as of right now who's running the Wake Forest location, but I think it was his wife back when they opened up the second one and third one. But getting that education as it relates to CBD for someone, I mean, he helped out my mom. I take CBD on a regular basis because sometimes I feel like I deal with all three of those things: sleep problems, anxiety, and pain management. But another thing I really like about them, and I think it goes hand in hand with what we're talking about tonight, Jesse and Remy, is they have Honest Paws brand. So dog treats. So there's CBD dog treats. So if your dog suffers from pain management or sleep or whatever.
That's excellent. I mean, we're huge advocates of CBD, and I can't tell you, as a groomer, I see a lot of dogs with arthritis, and I have seen that it's really helped them. And then as trainers, we also see a lot of dogs with separation anxiety or general anxiety. So it's great for people and dogs, and it's great to know that there's somebody out there that's willing to take the time to educate people who might be interested in trying it for their dogs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, one of my other dogs who is here with me, but is not pictured. She's not as Velcro-y as Knox. She's actually taken CBD before for sometimes she gets a little bit stressed out when meeting other dogs. And it definitely was nice. It didn't necessarily make her drowsy or anything, but I could see like a little bit of a calmer demeanor with her. So it's definitely something that I've used with my own personal dogs, and maybe I'll take a trip over and learn a little bit for myself as well.
Yeah, I'm sure Nick would love to meet you guys in person, but he has access to my email list, so at the least he'll possibly reach out via email. Busy guy, but he loves to network. So that's pretty exciting. What we do normally talk about, and since we've gone virtual, I don't think I talk about this as much, but the show is called Business and Brews. So I'll tell you what I'm drinking, then you guys can enlighten me. So this is Voodoo Ranger. Hey, whatever works. We're on the computer, so it's dealer's choice, right? But I'm actually not a huge fan of IPAs, but this New Belgium by Voodoo Ranger, I kind of like it. So they're actually in Fort Collins, Colorado, and Asheville, North Carolina. So what we try to do is focus on beers from North Carolina breweries for the show. So Remy, you got your high quality H2O. And Jesse, what do you?
Super weird and Super Bowl Sunday hot chocolate.
Oh, okay. Turned down for what?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so I know you guys talked a little bit about, kind of how you got started. When did you start the company, and like what was your focus, and what kind of growth have you seen over time?
Yeah, so I mean, I started this company about 6 years ago, and it's interesting because I was actually a elementary school teacher, and I paid a lot of my way through college by grooming dogs, and teachers have a hard job. So, I put in my time, and I said, you know what, I'm going back to the dogs. Sorry. And it started out just trying to pay the bills. I think when you start a business, you got to pay the bills, and you can't always do it right away with your business. So I kind of worked for other people while at the same time kind of building up my own clientele. But, bringing Remy on has been like a huge benefit for me because now I'm not this lone wolf. I've got a partner and a friend that, you know, I can, pardon my French, but shoot the shit with and
Yep.
not have to filter myself like I might, you know, another employee.
Yeah.
And we're both really passionate about what we do. So it's been great for me just to have a partner, and especially navigating this brave new world with everything going virtual. It's just so nice to have somebody I can call up at any time and like bounce ideas off of and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. So Remy, I know Jesse said started it 6 years ago. At what point did you come into the picture? And
So I have been friends with Jesse for, I would say, a few years now, but I had known her kind of through the dog training community. Dog training was actually my first job.
nice.
And so it's actually been something I just have kind of stuck with. I've gained a lot of insight from other great trainers that I've worked with, but it's kind of been something that just naturally progressed. And I definitely feel like it's my passion without a doubt.
Nice. That's awesome. So are there any it's interesting. It's kind of nice to have you guys on because we try not to have the same industry like back to back. And so
Right.
that hasn't required much effort on my part because there's so many different businesses, but we actually, and the name of their company slips my mind at the moment, but we had dog trainers on a long time ago. And so they kind of had like a very specific niche, so to speak. And like one of the major differences is you guys offer training and grooming where they focus on the training, and then one of them did most of their marketing. So they had a lot of cool videos and stuff like that. I guess kind of like courses, like if you want to train your own dog instead of going to them. But I was curious, like if you guys focus on a certain type of dog or size or demeanor, like what that looks like.
Well, our specialty really is just positive reinforcement training. So, you know, you probably, if you've talked with another dog trainer, heard about the different schools of dog training and how there's balanced trainers and positive trainers, and we are purely positive.
Nice.
And that is something that we take pride in. And it always amazes me because the type of training that we do is the type of training that zookeepers do. And, you know, I don't really care about football, as you know. But, you know, Super Bowl Sunday has sort of become like this anniversary for me because a couple of years ago, I actually participated in a chicken camp where we clicker trained chickens. And so it was Super Bowl weekend, and a partner and I that I had at the camp, we actually trained a chicken to peck a football through a miniature goal that we created.
Touchdown.
And that's the thing I love about this training is that, you know, it's a newer way of training, especially for most people when it comes to a dog.
Well,
but they've been using this training in zoos for years because, you know, it's hard to overpower a lion or an alligator. But when you need to do things to them like bathe them or cut their nails or examine their mouth, these zookeepers are using positive reinforcement to train these animals. So it's not just for dogs, it's for any kind of animal. And that's the thing I really love about it.
That's crazy. So do one of you, because Jesse, I know you said you focus a lot on the grooming aspect. So does one, Remy, do you focus a lot on the training aspect, or do you also do both?
So I do not. I would not pay me to groom any dogs. I definitely focus on the training aspect. And I would say that if I had a favorite, I guess, niche, I really like reactivity, and I like dogs that may have some fear, because it's really an amazing process to see a dog that can't interact or can't enjoy, you know, their environment, their outside world, and that can sometimes limit them from going out places with people, with their owners, and enjoying their life to their fullest. So watching a dog transform is honestly my favorite thing, and that's actually what got me started into training. My dog Baby became really dog aggressive and dog reactive. So for non-dog trainers, reactive is when dogs are vocalizing, lunging, etc. on the leash. So working her through that was just such an amazing process that I was hooked.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. So I know you said you've had the company for about 6 years. So even made it past that, small business hump, so to speak. But what did it look like when this whole pandemic hit? And, what did you do to pivot? How did you weather through the storm?
It was challenging, because we had just partnered with a pet store to start offering dog training classes. And of course, when COVID hit, like all of that was shut down, and they still have not allowed us back in the building. So we started teaching classes outdoors,
Nice.
Which is good because, a lot of people who are COVID conscious are excited about that and having a safe spot outdoors to train with their dogs. But we also started doing a lot of virtual dog training. So we will meet with people via Zoom and have them show us around their house, show us their setup, talk about, and a lot of puppies, I gotta say, I have a friend that works for the AKC, and she does not joke when she says there's a shortage of puppies right now. I mean, everybody and their brother thought, oh, we've got this time off. This is the perfect time to get a dog. So it kind of worked out well for us. It was just sort of figuring out how to do this virtually. But it's, a lot of people have puppies. And the big thing I think that has sort of like changed the way that we train is because people are home so much, separation anxiety is a big concern. Because I always tell my clients that the training you do in the first year of a dog's life sets the stage for the next decade plus that you're going to spend together.
Yeah.
So if you've gotten this puppy and you're stuck at home at your computer with your dog by your feet 24/7, that dog is going to expect that the rest of its life, understandably. So, helping people do things like independence training, giving them ideas for how to socialize. That's been another hard thing for people that got puppies, because socialization is so important. And just giving them tools to help prevent separation anxiety in the future, because it is unfortunately probably going to be something that a lot of these puppies will battle just because of how things are, and if people end up going back into the office and things like that.
Yeah.
And I would add too, I think there are separation anxiety. I definitely have as well seen an increase of that, like you explained perfectly. But I also think even for my own personal dog, certain things that aren't as obvious. So I used to have people over a lot more often. And now, because people don't really come over, when someone does, it's such a novel experience that it's incredibly exciting. So working on sometimes almost going back and maintaining skills that dogs may had, proofed previously.
Yeah.
Is also helpful, because it's exciting if no one ever comes over and then someone shows up and it's been several months and someone not in the nuclear family has been in the home. That's a really exciting, experience for the dog.
No, definitely. And I think we've even seen that with Nugget a little bit. There he went. Because I have, we have different visitors for different reasons, but he loses his mind every time he meets somebody. Well,
yeah.
That's not true. Even if he's already met you, he loses his mind. But he just loves attention. That's his favorite thing.
Oh yeah, and that's a great thing. Is attention is a good reinforcer for a lot of dogs. So, that's another thing that we spend a lot of time working with people on virtually is, they're with their dogs all day. So I'm like sitting here talking to you, petting my dog. He's not really doing anything great to be rewarded for. But, I think a lot of us humans too are struggling with COVID and the isolation. So we want to spoil our pets. But we have to be intentional about, when we're spoiling them, because it is part of the training process. So kind of, doing these virtual sessions with clients to say, like, we know life is tough right now. You want to cuddle your dog all day, but let's come up with a routine. Let's be intentional with our rewards. And it's hard because there's a lot of different factors like flying around now that we didn't usually have to think about.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, that's never even thought about that before, really, I guess. But
and it's hard because I've had some clients who are like, "But Jesse, I want to spoil my dog.
Yeah.
I want to pet them. It lowers my blood pressure. It makes me be happy." And I'm like, "That's great, but let's not pet him while he's like ripping your shirt off." Let's be a little intentional about this. But it's hard because a lot of people are struggling right now, and dogs are a huge comfort to us. And I would say Remy and I are on the same page with this, that, I joke and tell people sometimes, and it honestly isn't really a joke, but dogs are a big reason for why I'm still alive. People deal with a lot of anxiety and depression in the world we live in now. And dogs have always been my constant and have always provided me with this unconditional love. And so I think that's one of the reasons why Remy and I speak for the dogs is because we're trying to pay them back for all of the things that they've given us and the way that they've fulfilled our lives.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that too. I'd also say if you hear a little buzzing in the background, it's probably Knox snoring.
Same. That's awesome. So I want to now move into a little segment we call the questions we've had brewing. So it normally, at some point I might have questions from the audience, not tonight. So if the audience has questions, then your website is actually in the description of the video. So guys, if you're watching and you want to get in touch with them, you can go to their website or reach out to me if you've got questions. You want to get your pet groomed, trained, or you want to start your own pet grooming training business. I'm sure Jesse and Remy would be glad to answer those questions. But moving into the questions we've had brewing. So the first one, and we can go back and forth. I just got a few minutes left, but when you guys aren't grooming or training dogs, what do you like to do for fun?
Groom and train our own dogs.
Yeah, that is exactly true. If I'm not working with other people's dogs, and I think that's one thing that, being a dog trainer, not only is it my passion for other people's dogs, it's passion for my dogs. And I know Jesse is the same way. So I think that is probably, honestly, if I had to say there's one hard thing, it's finding a time where it's like, okay, dog free time. Does that really happen? Not too often. But honestly, I like it that way.
That's awesome. I love it. That was one of the best answers. So the next one, it's kind of up to you, but I like books. I listen to audiobooks, but I also have a shelf full of hard copy books, but there's also YouTube, podcasts. What content are you guys consuming right now?
When it comes to podcasts, I have been listening to, I know the speaker, Dan Cummins, he does a podcast. I forget the name of it, which
I didn't know he did a podcast. I listen to his comedy on Pandora.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It is called Time Suck.
I'm going to look that up.
Yeah, I really like that. And then in addition, I like another podcast that covers a lot of supernatural stuff called Lights Out.
Nice. Jesse, what about you?
You sound so much more well-rounded than me. I mean, honestly, aside from dogs, I'm a huge horror movie enthusiast, and you know, the month of October, Halloween marathons nonstop. But you know, there's a lot of good. You know, as dog trainers, we have to do a lot of continuing education, and especially when you're certified, and there's been a lot of virtual things that have come out this year. So honestly, I'm still trying to catch up and geek out on some of these lectures and stuff from dog trainers all over the country. But when I need to shut down, it's horror movies and sci-fi.
Okay. I like it. I like horror movies. So the third question, we've got two more, but this one might be a little bit more challenging. If you could have a beer or a hot chocolate or water with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Okay. That's a tough one, Jesse. If you know something off the top of your head.
I mean, that is a hard one. And you're stumping me because I mean,
Is there a hat we can draw names out of?
No, right. I mean, it's kind of like it's a loaded question because I mean, when does that opportunity really ever become available? But you know, I will say actually, before I got really into dogs, I was really into animal behavior. And one of the books and people that I really followed and looked up to is Diane Fossey. And most people have seen the movie Gorillas in the Mist, and that's her. But she was murdered in Africa with a machete.
Holy smokes.
So trying to save gorillas from poachers. I don't know. I think it would be really cool to talk to her and see what she has to say about what's going on in the world right now, because I think she passed away in the 80s.
All right.
So I would say I really like Grisha Stewart. She has great books on dog training. She created BAT, which again is kind of for dog reactivity, a way to kind of give dogs choice. And I would say that she'd be a good person to have a nice room temperature water with.
Nice. I dig it. That's awesome. So, yeah, I mean, some people come into that question fully prepared because they either know or they watch the show. So they were like, all right, I need to know that answer. And others, you know, just kind of wing it like you guys. That's fine. All very interesting people. So I support that. Normally we answer that question, but I think at this point, everybody knows mine is Gary Vaynerchuk. So that's pretty much the long and short of that. So the last question, and probably the most important one, is where can people find you?
Instagram, Facebook, the website. You know, we're working on trying to get more content out there. Remy's got her own personal Instagram page that she's doing a great job with it's called the Misfit Mongrels.
Nice.
And it's a cool little Instagram page about her dogs and the training she's doing with them.
I like it.
Yeah, no, it features the three dogs that I have is Knox, Baby, and Trouble. So it features their little, you know, day-to-day life. A lot of videos of Knox sleeping and snoring.
Of course. That's what 90% of our pictures of Nugget are on Instagram and whatnot.
Cute, quiet.
Yeah. That's awesome. So yeah, definitely your website is in the description. So guys, we got about a minute and a half left. I want to thank everybody that came on and watched live. Anybody watching this after the fact, then make sure to check out their website in the description of the video or the audio, the podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. We're on Amazon, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, you name it. So make sure to check that out. We are shifting gears into the after brews. So if you want to hear that, you got to come back on Wednesday. That goes live audio at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it goes, the video version comes out at 11 a.m. on Wednesday. Both of those are on Wednesday. So make sure to check back for that. And if you want to support the podcast, you can send us a message or offer some sort of monthly support for as little, I think, as 99 cents per month. Both those links are in the description, and all our other episodes are on the website as well. So be sure to check that out. Jesse, Remy, I want to say thank you so much. We're probably about to start the after brews here, but I appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you.